Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel. Now normally it is mostly lifestyle subscription boxes, but right now I am on a mission to get caught up on all of my book box subscriptions. So I have about 20 boxes that I am trying to get through by the end of the year, and then in the first couple of months of the year I should get all caught up with the boxes that are still being sent to me because I have ordered them for the holidays, limited edition boxes that come up, and the occasional monthly one if the hint sounds really good. The box that I have to share with you today is actually the September 2021 adult selection from Once Upon a Book Club. So Once Upon a Book Club is kind of one of the OG book boxes out there. They do something really fun, which is they select a book, they give you hints about it ahead of time, and then you decide if you want to skip that or maybe switch to their young adult subscription for that particular month. And then when you receive the book along with everyone else and you read along, you'll come to pages that have little sticky notes that will tell you to open a gift with a corresponding page number. And the whole idea is to really make reading a lot more fun, to get you really engaged, and to bring the book to life. This subscription is $49.99 per month. That does include the shipping, and I do have a code for you. It is now Noelle10. That will save you 10%. As always, I will leave that link for you as well as that code in the description box below. So like I said, this is from September of 2021. I actually put my subscription on hold from this particular box for quite a while, probably at the beginning of this year. So I am hoping to get to start back up with it using some referrals back when we start up in the new year, and hopefully I can really enjoy the boxes a little bit more because it is really fun. Now I do think they do a good job with their gift interpretation. Sometimes there's what I call a paper gift that I don't feel really adds value to the box. I also, my pet peeve is that they spend so much in doing beautiful packaging where they print the page numbers on there, and I would prefer if they just did sticky notes so that I could use that beautiful packaging if I want to re-gift individual gifts, but we'll talk about that later if there's some examples of that. They always include a nice bookmark. So for this one we got the quote, "She was more than she always thought she was. So much more." It's just like a dirt background. On the other side, of course, it just has some Once Upon a Book Club branding. And then we always get a quote card. So that is something that's a paper gift, technically, that I do actually really appreciate and enjoy. And of course, it has the same quote. And they have been including author's notes lately, which a lot of book boxes do, but I love that. And this one actually looks almost like handwritten, like the author wrote it. So I'll definitely read that to you. I will say that in this box, and again, I got it over a year ago in the mail and I just hadn't gotten around to reading it yet, had a lot of inserts, a lot of mailers about other upcoming novels and I guess maybe new authors, and I get why that would be in there from the publishers, but it's not like my favorite thing in the world. So usually there is a little bit of shred in there, but I've taken most of that out because of course I do like to read the books. That's why I have such a backlog of this particular subscription, so that I can read the passages with the associated sticky notes and kind of share the experience with you. So that said, there are spoilers on this one, and this may still be in their shop. Sometimes they have past boxes available, so this might be one that you want to see what the gifts are so you can decide if you want to get it, because I will tell you I thought the book was very enjoyable. And the book is The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell, and it was nice because we got a hardcover book this time around. We don't always, I would say, for me, in my experience, it's usually been like 60-40 in terms of Once Upon a Book Club. We usually get paperbacks, maybe even more like 80-20. I'm trying to pull out the little corresponding pamphlet that they do. So it's like a full-size little book club kit is what they call it. And they always kind of label their boxes not by month so much anymore, but by the hint. So the hint is dig here. And here is an image, of course, of the book. Now on the back, they have a recipe this time. There's always something that kind of adds to or is evocative or significant to the book on the back. Sometimes it's a puzzle. This time it's a recipe for pecan danishes, which actually seem very difficult to make, in all honesty. I think that's something I'll see if they have at my local bakery. I do love a good Danish. Prefer to get it when I'm in Copenhagen. And then inside they do have discussion questions if you are interested in doing a little actual book club. I am looking at doing a book club within the Nobot Nook, which is the Facebook group associated with our YouTube channel here. So if you're interested in that, we won't be doing it until the new year, and we'll select a book together together, probably one that is featured in one of the boxes that I open here on the channel, and then you have the option of reading along with us, or maybe even getting the box to read along with us, and then we'll have maybe a live stream discussion as well as discussion over in that Facebook group. I think it could be really fun, especially if you're someone like me who's like really behind and you kind of need someone to set you right with some more deadlines. They do have read along dates though. And then what I do really enjoy, along with the author's notes, they often do a conversation with the author, just a short little interview, which that's always kind of nice to read and enjoy as well. And I did notice that the book opens with the definition of arachnophobia and some foreshadowing. What phobias do you have? And I was like, oh no, because I actually personally do have some arachnophobia. It's not quite like debilitating anymore, but I do not like those creepy crawlies. So even though I like kind of can get into spooky season, I sometimes have to be like really careful and ask boxes ahead of time, like, are there spider things in there? Because I just need to know so that I don't like throw the box across the room, because I have been known to do that. All right, you guys, so let me go ahead and show you the book once again, and then I'll read the blurb and then we'll get into the gifts. So it says, it's a beautiful summer night in a charming English suburb when Tallulah and Zach head out to a bar for the first time since the birth of their infant son. Just 19 years old, they've been looking forward to this night and a break from bottles and diapers. A party at the massive country estate of a new college friend seems like the perfect way to unwind until morning comes and the two don't make it home. Tallulah's mother, Kim, struggles to piece together what happened that night. She manages to contact her daughter's friends, but they dodge all her questions. Even Zach's mom doesn't seem too concerned, convinced that the pair ran away to escape their parental responsibilities. But Kim had just found an engagement ring in Zach's coat pocket the day before. Why would two parents so devoted to their family abandon their child? 1 year after the case runs cold, a writer moves into a cottage on the edge of the woods that border the same estate where the couple disappeared. Known locally as the Dark Place, the dense forest is her favorite area for long walks, and it's on one such stroll that she stumbles upon a mysterious note that simply reads, "Dig here." Could this be a clue to the young couple's disappearance? And what exactly is buried in this haunted ground? With her signature, rich, dark, and intricately twisted Ruth Ware, New York Times bestselling author prose, Lisa Jewell has crafted another dazzling work of suspense that will keep you on the edge of your seat until the final page. So it's told in shifting timelines and in shifting perspectives. We hear from Tallulah, we hear from Kim, her mother, and it's pretty interesting because it kind of unravels backwards. So I did enjoy the book quite a bit. There were 4 gifts associated with it. Let's go ahead and read our author's note though, just because I think it's kind of like they like to send you off on the reading journey. It says, "Dear everyone at Once Upon a Book Club, I am beyond delighted to share my latest novel, The Night She Disappeared, with you all. It's a fat book, but I'm hoping you will race through the pages. The record so far is 4 hours. I did not get through it in 4 hours, but I did find myself continuing to read, and I was surprised I got through it as quickly as I did. It's the story of teenage parents Zach and Tallulah who go out to the pub one night and never come home. I hope you love it. All the best, Lisa." So again, I love the handwritten note touch, even though obviously they'd had it printed up. So it was a good mystery. I didn't find it super predictable. Towards like maybe after the first 2/3, I think I had kind of figured out, I had a good idea of what had happened, and then there was like some confirmation, but I did find it interesting. Now in my head, I read it with English accents. I won't probably subject you to that if there's not a lot of dialogue, but in my head, just because she is a British writer, and then also it takes place like in the English countryside, you have to read it with that in your mind. So here is an example of one of the page number sticky notes that says to open your gift. So let me just have them all ready. We had page 19. So this one was just all wrapped up in paper, but you can see what effort they put into the wrapping itself. I do appreciate it. Then we had page, let's see, I think the next one was page, where's my little gifty? Was page 34, so a lot of early on gifts this time around. Then we had page 79. Now here's an example of, it's a nice little box. I would like to be able to use it, but I can't really regift it to someone without them knowing that it's regifted. And then finally, all the way towards the end, page 294. Now I like it usually when they kind of like spread out the gifts a little bit more, but it was kind of nice just to kind of get me started, to get me launched, to have the 3 all in a row early on. So back to page 19. I had actually turned to the one on page 34 first. So here we go. So Kim is waiting at home with Zach and Tallulah's son. Kim finds a planner in the bag and flicks through it. It's full of Tallulah's dense, somewhat inelegant handwriting. She'd started off left-handed and forced herself to learn to write with her right hand to fit in when she was at primary school. There's no point looking for phone numbers. No one writes down phone numbers anymore. This takes place mostly in 2017 and 18, so pretty modern. But maybe Scarlett's name will appear on a class list or some such. And there it is, glued down and folded up on the back inside cover of the planner. Student contacts. Kim scans it quickly, her finger coming to rest on the name Scarlett Jacques, Student Event Planning Committee. So she talked to the pub that they were at, and they found out that they all left with this girl Scarlett, who lives in this big mansion out on the edge of the forest. So she's trying to figure out how to get in contact with Scarlett because Zach and Tallulah have not come home. And as they always say in true crime, it's like, she's not that kind of person. She's very responsible. She would never do something like that. So this is what we have. So questions, right? So you probably have guessed what it is, but I liked the interpretation that they did. Now this is just like folded paper, but I try to keep the wrapping as nice as possible so that you guys can see and appreciate it. So we got a reading journal, which I'm pretty sure they probably made in-house. A lot of the times they have gifts made for this particular subscription, which I think is nice. On the back we have this lovely image. My bookshelves are much more crowded than that. And then it's nice, we have a nice Charlotte Bronte quote, "I would always rather be happy than dignified." And then we have these big blank pages, for example, our TBR list, of course. And then we have other pages, other formats. It'd be nice if there were tabs. We have a did not finish list. We have a favorites list right here. Then we have more formats as we get back. We have quotes, monthly review pages, you can see. So that's why I'm saying there's definitely different sections where it would be nice. We have individual pages for individual book reviews. That takes up quite a bit of the booklet, most of the booklet in all honesty. Now these days I kind of consider my videos that I do are my book reviews. That's kind of it. And of course I do a lot of it digitally. So I thought it was kind of funny that they were talking about how people don't write down numbers anymore because we're also digital and we just put things into our phone. So I would probably honestly be using it more of an app in terms of keeping track of my TBR pile as well as my reading list. But I know a lot of us really love that feeling. Like I have also gone back to using a paper day planner in addition to having my digital day planner. So I get why if you wanted to, it would be nice to have a written tangible record of all of the books that you have read. So that was nice. I probably will regift that to someone else who I know is a voracious reader because I probably won't honestly use it as much as I would like to, even though I think the idea of getting to look back at what you have read and your reviews and your thoughts is very like romantic and lovely. So our next gift came on page 34. Let's see what's happening. They are, so now Kim has gone over to Scarlett's house to try to find out what happened, and they're all like hanging out in the pool. It says, it's set in a cream marble terrace with a curtained pagoda at one end housing a huge cream cushioned daybed. At angles along its length are teak sunbeds with matching cream cushions. Floating at the pool's center inside a bright pink inflatable flamingo is a tall, thin girl with lime green hair and a black bandeau bikini top. She peers at Kim and her entourage curiously. Then she says, "Oh," as the penny drops. So, Tallulah is, of course, the daughter, and Joss is the mother of Scarlett. So it was Scarlett that was floating there on that flamingo. She says, "Tallulah," says Joss, shielding her eyes from the sun shining off the pool's surface with her hand. "Apparently she was here last night. Any idea where she got to?" So Joss is asking Scarlett, what happened to this girl? Because her mom is here. Like, why are you bothering our beautiful, like, resort-like pool? We got this lovely little bag with the dark, deep forest for page 34. And I kind of guessed what this was based on it. And now I haven't blown it up for you guys. It's this really cute little flamingo floaty, pool floaty that, yes, you can inflate, and it holds your drink. So inside there's like a little hole, right? So when you inflate it, it's very cute. It looks like the big ones, and then it holds your drink. I've gotten a bunch of these before. I didn't want to inflate it though because I'll probably regift it to someone else, so I didn't want to like get my lipstick on it and blow it up. But I thought that was a cute item to receive, and it was, again, a September box, so you probably be still enjoying some pool parties, perhaps if you were not so bad about your TBR list as I am. Then the next one came not too long later on page 79. So let me find this one. So now we're talking about Sophie, and Sophie is the one who moves into the school, basically, the cottage on the school property that's at the opposite edge of the woods, or also along the perimeter of the woods. The arrow on the piece of cardboard nailed to the fence points down and slightly to the left. She has no idea if dig here is a precise instruction or a general suggestion, but she starts digging as close to the tip of the arrow as she can. She has butterflies as she digs. Her blood is filled with the adrenaline of dread. 14 months ago, 2 teenagers went missing somewhere between Dark Place and the village, possibly somewhere in these woods. The sign that appeared so innocuous 2 days ago, the sign she thought a leftover part of a team-building exercise or a treasure trail, the sign that she still feels so strongly she has seen somewhere else at some other juncture of her life, now carries a shadow of potential horror. Might it be a shred of torn clothing, a tiny shard of bone, a hank of hair tied in faded satin ribbon? She holds her breath as the trowel goes deeper and deeper into the summer dry earth. Every time it hits a stone, she inhales again. So Sophie happens to be a mystery writer, so of course her imagination is going kind of wild. And in the end, you guys, it turns out that the reason it sounds familiar is because someone actually took that, the sign that says dig here, out of one of her own books, and she just like totally forgot. I thought that was kind of silly that she would forget that. So inside we got, yes, a little cardboard sign without the nail that says dig here. So I think this is kind of fun when it's paired with an actual gift as well, that they went ahead and gave us the sign. And we got this cute little trowel, which I thought was actually really an adorable and, you know, usable gift. And it actually has a quote on it. It says, "Your destiny is yours." So they actually had that inscribed on there. And then it's a quote from Lisa Jewell. I thought that was cute. It's a nice little wood handle. It's a little trowel that you can use for your little kitchen garden, which is what I have since I don't have a real garden. So that was like so far the most usable gift, or at least the gift that I will use the most. And I thought that was kind of cute that she gave us that trowel, or they gave us that trowel. So finally, we don't get another gift until page 294, almost towards the end of the book. Now, sometimes when they have to put the sticky at the bottom of the page, they'll give us this smaller sliver variation. So let's see. They are finally, 15 months later, essentially figuring out, they're almost getting closer and closer to finding out what happened to Tallulah and Zach. Sophie and Kim, so Sophie has finally met up with Kim, who is Tallulah's mother. Sophie and Kim exchange a look. Kim nods and says, "Yes, we'll probably have a little chat with her." "She won't know anything," Lexi says. "I promise you, she won't." So Lexi was there that night, so she knows more than she's letting on. Sophie closes her laptop then and is about to pick it up and leave when her eye is caught by something poking out from the half-disgorged contents of Lexi's suitcase. It's a copy of her book. So Lexi is basically a travel influencer, so that's why she has a suitcase, and she was there that night when Tallulah disappeared. And so Sophie is recognizing her own book because, again, she writes those detective novels, and she has finally realized, of course, that the dig here sign came from one of her own novels. So she's like, oh, well, so this Lexi girl, maybe she did it because she read my novel and she knows that I would that would trigger something in me, even though it like honestly didn't at first. So here is a nice little mailer bag. This is what this is fine with me, where it's just a mailer bag with like a nice sticker. But when they do make the effort of putting together these like nice boxes, I just feel like it'd be nice to have a sticky note on there instead of them actually printing the page number on. Because you could regift it. Sometimes it's something that I would regift instead of use. So inside we got another book. So it's kind of cool because they did like a little slip cover that has the name of one of her books, which is The Heather Green Detective Agency by P.J. Fox, of course. And it even says dig here. But of course we can take that cover off, and we got another mystery novel inside, which is, I don't think I've gotten that before. So here is the cover, and then we got a mystery novel inside. So I think that's kind of cool that they gave us another book, another thing for me to add to my TBR pile. But let's go ahead and end with me reading this blurb. So it says, in the brand new series from #1 New York Times bestselling author Fern Michaels, brother and sister Cullen and Luna Bodman are drawn into a dangerous mystery through an antique with a complicated past. At first glance, few would guess that Luna and Cullen Bodman are siblings. Cullen is efficient and serious, while his younger sister Luna is a free spirit. Well, with a name like Luna. It says, when the two launched their furniture restoration shop cafe, an offshoot of the family's longtime antique business, in an up-and-coming art center, little do they know their unique talents may be their only defense in a matter of life and death. When Luna gets a strange sense about a piece Cullen just acquired, the two find themselves uniting to solve a mystery that has far-reaching consequences, never knowing there are some who'll stop at nothing to claim what they believe is theirs. Despite their differences, Luna and Cullen know they can rely on each other, and this time their lives may depend on it. So I like that it's a sibling mystery instead of like a romance one where they, of course, wind up together with the detective. So it looks good. It's called Hidden. I thought that was kind of fun to get another book within a book box. But you guys let me know what you thought about it, and let me know if you've read any other Lisa Jewell books. I thought it was an enjoyable one. You might want to check it out and see maybe even if they have this book box still available. If you enjoyed this video, please help me out with a thumbs up, and I will see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing.